We go live to Venezuela, Caracas, to the Supreme Court of Justice of Caracas, Venezuela, where former electoral candidates of the elections of July 28th are appearing before the Supreme Court of Justice of Venezuela at the request of President Nicolás Maduro, who filed an appeal to investigate, to perform a judicial process in order to clarify the electoral process that took place in the country on July 28th. For the second consecutive day, the Supreme Court of Justice Electoral Chamber is receiving former presidential candidates at this moment. Antonio Ecarri is appearing before the President of the Supreme Court of Justice. Last week, the Supreme Court officially summoned the 10 presidential candidates and the representatives of political parties to present all the electoral materials they have in their possession. This is a process that started on Wednesday, and today is the second consecutive day of hearings in the capital of Venezuela, Caracas. In this context, let's highlight Edmundo González, who was a candidate for the Democratic Unity Platform, did not appear at the hearing in the Supreme Court of Justice Electoral Chamber, where he was expected to present the voting records from the presidential elections held on July 28th. According to the President of the Supreme Court of Justice, the failure to appear before the electoral chamber will have the consequences provided for in our current legal system. In the elections on July 28th, let's recall that the candidate of the Great Patriotic Pole, Nicolás Maduro, was re-elected as President of Venezuela. Edmundo González also did not attend a previous summons for the Supreme Court. Instead, his party did not recognize the election results and attempted to usurp the authority of the National Electoral Council, promoting violent acts on July 29th and July 30th, which caused significant material damage. 2 security agents killed and over 140 people injured. Also, the culprits, for example, burned official facilities, government buildings, educational institutions, health centers, and monuments, among others, for the payment of sums of money. Also, more than 80 officers were injured. Before the voting day, González assured that he would not sign, and he didn't sign it, the agreement to recognize the presidential election results as an instrument of political ethics through which 8 out of 10 candidates publicly committed to recognizing the results and contributing to the country's peace. Let's recall that the former candidate of the Great Patriotic Pole and President Nicolás Maduro will appear on Friday before the Supreme Court. This political coalition is prepared to deliver 100% of the tally sheets, according to the President, who assured so during stressed and appearances before the people and the press. Let's remember that this week, the Supreme Court of President Carissa Rodriguez summoned all former presidential candidates to present the electoral records in their possession from August 7th to 9th. This request responds to the contentious action presented by Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro, who asked the Supreme Court for a thorough investigation of the presidential elections to clear any accusations of fraud. All electoral instruments in the possession of political parties and candidates must be presented. We were seeing live images from the Supreme Court of Justice of Venezuela during the second day of hearings to former electoral candidates that took part in the elections of July 28th in the country. This judicial investigation is taking place at the request of President-elect Nicolás Maduro. This is all for the moment. Stay tuned with From the South.